What up, y'all? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Big Boosie, man. Oh, man, I'm back again. Street knowledge still in effect, man. You know, gonna always come give y'all some knowledge, something good to talk about, man. Everybody hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, man, hit that subscribe button. Like, share. Please share this, man. Keep it rolling. Got big things to do. Big fish to fry. So, you know, I'm going to still keep coming with the knowledge, man. And, you know, I'm going to always shoot these gifts and these jewels to the young cats out there that, you know, is out there following the destruction, the path of thinking a gun is a problem solver. Really, it's not. Need y'all to, you know, tighten up out there, fellas, man. I know it's hard. I know it's rough. I got a lot of things to talk about, but I wanna kind of get into something. Once again, what I spoke about, you know, the other day, I gave it a few days. I sat back and analyzed and dissected some of the stuff that the cat, once again, Brian Glaze Gibbs, was talking about. I'm just wondering what make the man wanna, you know, come at Dame, excuse me, come at Dame any kind of way. You know, I'm trying to figure what business of that is his. And I'm saying this in the most respectful manner. I don't have no problems with the guy. Maybe he just don't know certain things. And, you know, I'm here to correct it for him. That's it. I'm not here to go back and forth beef with nobody over the internet and all that stuff. That's not what this is all about. But I do want to correct a few things from things that he said about Dame wanting street credibility and all of that, you know, that type of stuff. And he did his research and his homework. And why would somebody want to research what another man did when he was coming up just because he's blessing other individuals with a stance of changing their life? So, you know, one of his joints when he seen Mav Hoffa with Dame up there talking, you know, about the lynch mob or whatever. A lot of people been wanting to know about the lynch mob. So what he did, he told me, he said he's going to take Lou there himself so they can ask the questions, whatever they want to ask while Lou and them is there. Just that simple. He could have went by himself and proclaimed to know Lou and all them, and then that would have sounded like, you know, he's trying to have street cred. He brought them with him. So first I want to say to Brian, man, said something about Dame went to Catholic school, and I guess that's supposed to mean that a person is soft. You know how many killers went to Catholic school? Private school. Doesn't matter what school you went to that make you soft. Anybody went to Catholic school should, you know, should take that as kind of like disrespect. What that's supposed to mean. But which that's neither here nor there. But how do Catholic school defines a person as a man and as a man that stand on he's not gonna let nobody disrespect him or play him? So I'm just confused. Please let me know, because I know a bunch of that look like regular ordinary dudes. I also know a lot of cats that turned out to be killers that was really, you can call them soft then, but I wouldn't say soft because they just wasn't displaying no tough acts of hurting people and beating people up and all that. But I can say once they found out that they probably was nice with their hands, all that being quiet and soft stuff, or just acting shy, or being behind the scene, all that turned to a whole nother animal. I know a lot of them they start knocking people out, beating them up. Nothing to play with. Some of them took it to the extreme and took advantage of it once they knew that their capabilities of having a good knuckle game was was in play, so to say. Some of them only took it there if you mess with them. Nothing to play with. So, you know, with that being said, like, Dame already said in the interview, and he said it in a bunch of other interviews, he never really had to act tough and be in the hood because he was around cats that a lot of people were scared of. And they never came to him like that. And he said it why the people was there with him. I don't know him for having security. So why would you say now that he got, excuse me, you said, damn, you don't need to be scared of nobody no more. You a big dog now. You got security now, so you don't have to be scared no more. Dame never had security. I done been with my bro everywhere, plenty places. I don't recall no security hanging around us. It was always our friends and us, wherever we went, any state, wherever we went. And that's not saying tough. I'm not saying that to be tough. I'm just saying that he's just well respected. People respect who he is. He don't have to act tough. And if he was soft, why would he come in the hood? A person of his stature, a big mogul like that, name a lot of them that come to the hood without security. So your sources, tell your sources, or ask your sources, when do they see him with security in the hood, being that you got a lot of, you did your homework and you got a lot of resources, man. Because I'm kind of confused with, with that, with the YouTube post that you put up about him being, want street cred. And I'm only speaking because I got a podcast. I'm not doing it for numbers. I'm doing it when, somebody speak out about one of my friends. It's not just Dame. I've been like this since I was young with any of my homeboys. I'm going to speak out. Like, I'm not understanding. I do want to know. I hear you say you changed your life. And, you wish you could take back you being in the streets and wilding out and all that. And you could work a corporate job or have a career and everything. I'm just wondering, because everybody's saying that you was a rat of some sort of speak. That's none of my business. But it's real heavy out there in the streets that you have done that before. None of my business. I don't hold nothing accountable to nobody. I'm just up here with defending what you were saying about my bro, because I know a lot of that is not true. As far as digging in his pockets, everybody putting their 5 fingers in his pockets and all that stuff. I mean, Lou and them, they be in the hood. Why don't you come to the hood and ask them, is that true? Don't hear from another man or another source. Because it's 2 sides to a story, isn't it? Because the way I see it, I see a lot of love with Lou and Dame. when they hanging out. They show Dame the utmost respect. And not only that, why would you want to tear down a man that's trying to help other brothers that did a long bid come home and chilling and relaxing and trying to make something out of themselves? And you would want to tear down a man of Dame's stature that can help other brothers turn their life around and get something going on and you know, something big and actually start a career for themselves since they're home. You want to get on the internet and tear down the man that is just putting them in position to get there. So I want to address something also. You said something about they tried to put his best friend in the trunk and they did stuff to his best friends. What you need to understand is Dame can't help it if he cool with both sides. And a lot of things be street stuff. So if a person is cool with both parties, how he gonna get involved in that? He can't get involved with that. Not only that, if he cool, I'm cool with people that have been beefing with each other. I know a lot of people that's cool with people that's beefing with each other. When they come see me, we cool, we talking, we have regular conversation. I don't want to talk about nothing negative. I might let them vent to me, both parties. But if either one did something to each other, fighting wise, punched one in the face, whatever, stabbed or whatever, and you can't get in the middle of that. So that doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense, man. For you to actually put that out there and, you know, I guess try to defer the message that Dame is putting out there through brothers like Lou Sims, Daniel Danico, and other brothers that's been through the trenches or whatever. Which Daniel ain't been through the trenches as of a few years, if he has done a bid, but Daniel been doing good, and the reason for Dame doing what he's doing because he want to make sure that Daniel stay doing good. Dame is the type of person that looks out for his people. So that thing about why would he be cool with somebody that put his best friend in the trunk or did something to his best friend, you need to do your research on that, man. It has nothing to do with somebody putting somebody in trunks and he taking sides or he should take a side. It's just certain things you need to understand. If something happens out there and, you know, you never know how it happened. It might have happened and Dame ain't even know about it was happening. Was maybe he could have diffused it with whatever, all the other incidents that you were saying as well. So I'm not understanding your point and your delivery of what you're trying to actually, what picture you trying to paint. Because it's bad enough we don't got people out here that's on a mogul level that's trying to help other brothers come up out of the hole or out of the stigma of them being in jail. Now we have one, and you would want to tear the man down and try to make him look bad because you saying he want to have street cred. Nobody's worrying about street cred. He never said nothing about he was no tough guy and running. He said that the guys, they want him doing all that. He just liked to have fun. What he did also say is he took boxing, which most guys in the hood should be smart and want to take boxing. A lot of them just stay getting beat up until they come out of their shell. But that's called being smart, thinking ahead of the game. Let me go ahead and learn how to box because I see everybody out there be fighting and I want to get my knuckle game right, period. There's nothing wrong with that. I took karate when I was younger. I didn't stick with it long enough, but I'm just saying. I know a lot of people that did. There's nothing wrong with that. Learning how to defend yourself in that jungle where we come from in Harlem. It's crazy. So that's just being smart, thinking ahead of the game. But he never, ever said nothing about being this tough guy or want street cred and all that stuff. He can't help he took boxing, and you know, he probably had a few fights and won the fights that he actually had. It ain't nothing glorifying, nothing. He's just speaking about his boxing skills. That's it. Everybody do that. Who doesn't? I'm just trying to understand what that's all about. So, you know, being that you was, you preach that, you wish, I think I just said it, I can't remember, but I do want to say it again. If you could start a career instead of being in the streets, you would. Right? So my point is, maybe you didn't. Maybe if you didn't do what you did, as far as what the rumors are about you, and if you didn't do it, you can actually be out and still be in the streets. Would you still be in the streets? Because why should the kids, or what you preach to the kids, why should they believe you? I'm just asking. I'm not trying to make fun of you. I really want to know. I'm really asking these questions. What is that all about, brother? Because that it's crazy that I see another post or something that first you gave Dame his props, big respect. Then you want to come and try to tear it down. And I'm only really speaking about this because he's really trying to help people get a career rolling, take care of their families. But then somebody won't come from the left and try to discredit what he's saying and all that. And that's really not what he's saying. Then you want to say something about the Paid in Full movie, as far as with Alpo is concerned. You said that why he didn't want to mention Alpo name on Math Hoffa. I think I spoke about that in the other joint that I talked on and was speaking back to what you were saying about him not saying nothing when they asked him about Alpo. Once again, Alpo is not here to defend himself. Enough is enough with the talk about Alpo. I mean, what more can he really say? He never really hung with Alpo, and he never was all up in Alpo's ass. None of that. Talk about Alpo, none of that. And he spoke about Paid in Full too, about being that Alpo was deceased now, and he wasn't being funny. It was not no joke or nothing. For years, they was wondering what will Paid in Full 2 be. AZ left the game. Rich Porter passed away, God bless him. And Alpo was in jail. So what more will Paid in Full be? So he was just stating that Alpo passed away now. Maybe he might could end it on that or have some closure on it on that. But it was no disrespect towards Alpo. It was nothing about him being all up in Alpo ass. He never talked with Alpo. And what you need to understand is Paid in Full was AZ's movie, not Alpo's movie. It's AZ movie. AZ wrote it, did the deal with Dame, but Rich Porter, Alpo, was in his life, so he included them inside of the story. So I'm not understanding what made you think or say that Dame was all in Alpo's ass and he didn't want to say nothing. But now, I mean, he was saying something to Alpo back then, or or I guess had Alpo name in his mouth back then, or was conversing with Alpo. I don't know how you meant it, but he never was doing that. He never was doing that. You can't name a place at a time that he was doing that. Do your research. Let me know. So I'm just confused about the whole situation. But like I said, Pay the Fool is going to be a series, so it's gonna have a lot of other big dogs in the game that people don't know about. They will know about them once the series drop. You're gonna have your parts where people like Lou was doing their thing and was making noise through Harlem, however they was doing it. You're probably gonna have some preacher stuff inside of there. But that's all it's all about, bro. It ain't nobody looking for no street cred and all that. For what? And like I said, he was cool with both parties, however it may go. Or maybe he didn't even know what was happening. But even if he's still cool with both parties, how are you going to get involved with that? So how the actual resources to let you know that part, to tell you if he was cool with both parties or not, and if in fact that even happened. But they said it was a fact that it happened. But I think you need to come a little more stronger with some of your stuff, my brother, in real life. Cause some of the research stuff that you've been doing, I think you might need to go back a little bit to the drawing board, my brother, for real. I'm just trying to figure out what's your point, what's your angle, what do it all mean? And maybe you're doing it for views and get a check. But why you want to bring down a brother that's helping other brothers? Just so you could get a check, man. But you want to preach real talk. If you're preaching real talk to these kids out here, don't show them how to go against nobody that's showing people the ropes. And don't come up with a scenario because you saying they want to mention somebody else's name and saying he was mentioning somebody's name before, which that is not true, man. That's nowhere near true. And then I'm going to leave y'all with this one. I'm going to leave you with this one, Brian. On a Rupp movie, did have a plot and a twist to it. Being that you said you read off some people saying, you was reading off, I believe, you said that some people that, whoever you read it off said that Honor Rupp didn't have a plot to it. It was corny. It was not a good film. But let me tell you what it was about then. It did have a plot to it. It was really about men getting money in the streets of Harlem. It was showing you some essence of Harlem. And it was showing you that there was a crew, and then it show you some of them went against each other. See all the elements that these young cats is doing now, going against each other. Everybody's a crew, but it's always some one or two suckers in the crew. Somebody doing something foul. That's what that was about. So that might have went over whoever told you that, or whoever you was reading off, whatever. That might have been too far-fetched for them to even pay attention to. How they couldn't see what that was about. And the main part of it is, and what it was about is, once the guys that was getting money The ones that was together and stuck together, when they went to jail, remember the part? And if you didn't see the movie, go check it out. The part when they was interrogating everybody, nobody told. Everybody stuck together. And they got up out of that situation because nobody told. That's what the movie was about. So whoever made up all those corny accusations about the movie didn't have a plot to it, it was right in your face. How you didn't see it? And it was showing the essence of Harlem. It got direct even with the crackheads, giving you the essence of street stuff. And see, the snitch thing is so in now and it's popular that a lot of people, that's going to go over their head with what that film was about. Oh, and guess what? It won an award for Best Independent Film. So, my brother, like I said, I'm not here to try and play you or none of that. I just thought that I would just come up here and enlighten you on a few things, on what real is real and what reality really is. And the reality is, Dame never had no security with him. He always can come back home and come outside and be outside, sitting outside, doing interviews with D from Rough Rider. You don't see no security around. It's just friends. That's it. So hopefully this will enlighten you and some of your resources on some of these things. But you might want to come to the hood and ask questions directly to these people and make sure that it's legit. Because other than that, I don't remember my boy being soft or none of that. I don't remember him proclaiming to be no gangster, no thug, or none of that. He never said that. He always said he wasn't out there being no thug. He was getting money, and he said it. He was the youngest to be able to get cars. He was fortunate. He always spoke about that. He didn't act like he was getting no money out in the street, but he really was getting, had a silver spoon in his mouth, so to speak, or whatever. He never portrayed that, man. Never. If you paid attention to his conversation, so I'm just trying to figure out what narrative you trying to paint for the people to look at Dame sideways. We out here building. We trying to get these young cats, out of that stigma. Of not helping your fellow brother. You don't need no street cred to do that. At all. I'm just trying to figure out what y'all was listening to that I didn't listen to. To make it actually look like he was trying to look like he was tough and had street cred back in the day and all that. He's just speaking about when him and his friends was on the block. And they used to slap box or whatever, or if he might have ever had a fight. And he won the fight. Who don't fight? You ain't got to be a gangster out there to be a person that had fights. Everybody had fights. And they're not gangsters. They just somebody that handle their business. Not going to let nobody chump them or punk them. For you to call somebody a professional punk, bro, that's or however you worded it. That's real deep, man. For you to say something like that. And, you know, I just thought I'd come here and break it down for you that those words you saying is not true. And I don't think the young cats should be listening to you saying stuff like that about a brother that's out here trying to help people. Help change lives. If he can get somebody else a career started, then they can go on and pass that torch to somebody else. That's what we trying to do. But when other brothers come in and start talking crazy like this, that'll make other people look at the man that's trying to help or the woman that's trying to help sideways. Like, I ain't paying them no attention. Now you just banging us right back down to the bottom, or banging that person back down to the bottom and make a person don't even want to help nobody else when you do stuff like that. And now us as black people, we back at square one because of one of us that did it, that brought us back down to square one just for the internet. That ain't cool, bro. That ain't cool. Nobody don't need no street cred. He ain't claiming to be street cred. But a lot of his friends got street cred. Been running the mean streets of Harlem with no problems. And we got a friend that's cool with everybody. We're going to make sure ain't nobody going to touch that friend, rather it's male or female. And that's just how that goes. If two of my friends beefing, I can't get in the middle of that. I'm going to still be cool with both of them. That's just how it goes. So I ain't understanding your point, bro, but just thought I'd enlighten you, man. Something real quick. And make sure y'all subscribe, all my newcomers, man. I got a lot of things coming up. I'm going to keep it rolling. You know, my Cash App is up there in the description. Support the brother so I can keep all this good things, good content coming to y'all. And I'm going to always make sure that I keep it real. And I'm going to speak on things when something ain't real. Especially when it comes to my friends. Other than that, we busy, we working, we building brands. We building bosses. That's what this all about, man. And that's all Big Boosie about, man. Street knowledge. I'll see y'all in a second, man. I'll be back.